Welcome to Revelation Unraveled. I'm your host, William Tapley, also known as the third eagle of the apocalypse and the co-prophet of the end times. On this program, I want to answer some of my critics who say I do not give enough scriptural references for the claims which I make about end times prophecy. Therefore, I am going to give you more than 80 references which demonstrate why there will be 4 separate groups who will reign with Jesus during the millennium. Now, the 4 groups who will reign with Jesus during the millennium are the raptured Protestants, protected Catholics, the holy martyrs, and the converted Jews. Now, the first reference is in Revelation chapter 17, verse 14, where he refers to the called, who are the raptured Protestants, the elect, who are the protected Catholics, and the faithful, who are the holy martyrs. St. John writes that they who are with him, that is at Armageddon, are the called, the elect, and the faithful. This is not one group. These are 3 separate groups. Now, the converted Jews are not with this group because they have already fled from Judea. Now, let's look at our second reference. In Revelation chapter 11, verse 18, St. John describes the 4 groups who will reign with Jesus during the millennium. And he refers to this as rendering a reward. First, he says, render reward to the prophets, render reward to the saints, render reward to those who fear your name, and to your servants. Again, these are the 4 groups that we are talking about. Now, in verse number 18, St. John writes about 4 groups who are killed by the whore of Babylon. He is referring here, in this case, to the abortions performed in the United States and elsewhere, particularly in the West. These aborted babies include members of the 4 groups we have been talking about. The blood of prophets, notice the same as the term up above. The blood of saints, same as here. The blood of those who are slain upon earth, those are the martyrs. And the blood of the servants, those are the converted Jews. Now let's look at the 4 blesseds in Revelation. These 4 blesseds are from chapters 6 through 20, which are the end time chapters of Revelation. In 19:9, St. John writes, "Blessed are those who are called to the marriage supper of the Lamb." This refers to the raptured Protestants. In chapter 16, verse 15, he writes, "Blessed is he that watches." This refers to the protected Catholics. The reason they have to watch is because they are not raptured along with the Protestants. Therefore, they are keeping an eye out for the Antichrist and his followers who will persecute them. Remember, Jesus says that for the sake of the elect, that is the protected Catholics, I will shorten those days. Now, if the entire church were raptured with the Protestants, there would be no need to shorten the days. It is only for the sake of the elect, that is the protected Catholics who are in the desert, that he has a need to shorten the days. In Revelation chapter 14, St. John adds one more group who are blessed, and that is, blessed are the dead who die in the Lord. This refers to the holy martyrs. And in chapter number 20, St. John writes, "Blessed is he that has part in the first resurrection, and they shall be priests of God and of Christ." This refers to the converted Jews. Now let's look at the 12 characteristics of each of these groups as described by St. John in the book of Revelation. Many of the attributes of the raptured Protestants have to do with their singing ability. They have the voice of a great multitude, voice of many waters, voice of mighty thunders, voice of harpers. They sing a new song. They are virgins. Now, I'm not sure that that means necessarily that they are celibate, but they are pure sexually. They follow the Lamb wherever he goes. They are purchased or redeemed from among men. Now, St. John often uses the word purchased to indicate raptured. They are the first fruits to God and to the Lamb, and they have no guile and no fault. Now, I'm not saying that other Christians wouldn't qualify to be raptured, but certainly terms like prophets and great singing ability clearly points, in my mind, to the Protestant denominations. Now let's look at the 12 characteristics which St. John gives the protected Catholics. The Catholic keeps his garments clean. He has the patience of the saints. He keeps God's commandments. He has faith in Jesus. St. John describes him as the seed of the Blessed Virgin Mary, and therefore he makes war with the dragon. He overcomes by the blood of Jesus and by the testimony. The protected Catholics love not their lives until death. Now that doesn't mean that they are martyrs, but simply that they are willing to give up their lives. They receive thrones, they sit upon their thrones, and they are given judgment. Now in part 2 of this series, we will look at the rest of the 80 scriptural references which support my contention that there are 4 separate groups who reign with Jesus during the millennium. And if you would like more information, simply write to the address you see on your screen.